Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a good August 15th. Mine is going pretty smooth, pretty routine. Just finished my 8-hour shift. Actually, not as routine. I have a broken laundry, my clothes, my dryer for to dry my laundry. It stopped working like a week ago. I know what's wrong with it, but I've been having trouble getting the part that I need, which is a door switch. I got one yesterday, but then that part was broken too. So I went back today and I got a new door switch, and I think it'll finally be fixed. But then in the middle of my shift, I get a text from the wife saying that our pool pump is broken. So now I got a pool pump to deal with before I get a yucky green water in our swimming pool. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm still doing good. You know, the basics, the essentials are covered. We're not starving. We're not hot or cold. We have a shelter, so certainly grateful for that. Something I'm not grateful for right now is what I want to talk about, which is Joe Biden. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with this man. I don't know what's wrong with his administration. People working around this guy. It feels like every time I think something good that he's done, something like something he does something base, something even worse on the opposite direction happens. He recently was getting praised, even from well established lefties like Kyle Kulinski, uh, Crystal Ball, and everyone. All those people. He did something, Davis Bacon rule or something like that. Something to do with he's making a change where it'll give construction workers a pay increase. So I think that's good. Obviously, there's Kyle predicted that it's gonna get challenged in the courts by the corporate class, of course. That don't want to pay people more. So, and then, as most of us know, the Supreme Court ultimately, and most of the lower courts, at the the first, what do you call the first one? Federal court, then the appellate courts, all those lower courts, I think they're majority Republican too. The judges are appointed by Republicans, the majority of them. So who knows? Biden might get shut down in the end in that regard. But anyways, assuming that goes well and he gets to reestablish this rule, because it was a rule that was already there. Not Joe Rogan. Ronald Reagan did away with it because Ronald Reagan he was not a good president, but he did away with it, made it easier for corporations to screw workers in the construction industry anyway. Joe Biden's trying to bring it back, but now all these courts are majority conservative, so we'll see what happens there. Assuming it's gonna go well. I'm looking at what's happening in Hawaii with all these wildfires. Yes, it's global warming. I believe it's global warming, and but that's really not the subject. But I think anyone that is denying climate change, global warming, pick your definition about what's happening with our weather and our environment. Yeah, I think those people, they gotta be watching too much right-wing media, honestly. But so anyways, as I'm knocking on Republicans for being anti-climate change, Joe Biden is kind of bad, man. He's pretty damn bad on climate. If you look at it for what he has done and not done, he gets praised for all the um, all the green investments. Pro renewable energy investments that he did in the what do they call this? The IRA, what that stands for? Inflation Reduction Act. That piece of legislation, which it was a good, far from a complete far from a large step, but it was a good step. It was a baby step in the right direction, an incremental change in the right way. But he's been pretty much undermining that accomplishment with all this oil drilling permits. I think Marianne Williamson, one of his primary opponents, she lets it be known as many times as she's able to that Biden already authorized more oil drilling permits than Trump even did. And then he did the Willow Project, which apparently is like in this very sensitive area. What do you call it? Federally protected area or something like that. Where there's a lot of wildlife going on in that area, and he allowed this oil drilling company, ConocoPhillips, I think that the owner's name of the company is ConocoPhillips, or the company is ConocoPhillips. But Biden is doing that, and so it's just been accumulating, man. It's so fucking. I think right so far the whole Hawaii thing is the most egregious, probably because it's the most recent, and he's apparently on vacation right now regarding while this is happening, and he gets asked about it by the press. What are they doing about the Hawaii wildfires? And if you look at what's happening, it's like you think of Hawaii, you think closest thing we have to a paradise in America. Apparently, I've never been there, but you watch movies about Hawaii or documentary on Hawaii, or you just hear about Hawaii, and it's beautiful, palm trees everywhere, and lots of nature and all that. And most of it is true. But I'm looking at before and after pictures right now with the wildfires, and it's like entire areas are being consumed by the fire. Like cars are freaking burnt to a crisp, homes destroyed and turned into rubble because of the fire weakens the structure of these homes and all that. It's a real emergency right now. It's a human catastrophe. There's a death toll already, probably above 100 now, but last I heard it was 99 people confirmed dead, but there was still like more than 1,000 people missing, so they're expecting the death toll to go up. And there's a lot of incompetence going on at the local, state, and federal level of government action to try to get something done about this. And it is mind-boggling that this can happen, and like there's so much incompetence going on with Joe Biden in this regard. And it's just, to me, it's been bubbling up. Every time it's something environment related, whether it's something to do with global warming or something to do with just keeping water clean, the soil clean, keeping the air clean, man, what a disappointment. Like, this whole fucking country is turning into shit, honestly, in that regard, from both sides, Republicans and Democrats. And of course you'll be more surprised to hear that it comes from Democrats too, because there's a party that claim they believe in global warming, although they take very little action. like I said, IRA, that's a drop in the bucket of what's needed, and it's being undermined by Biden's actions here. And so, but yeah, if you just think about it, like, at least in my mind, I got in terms of areas in the U.S. that are not in good shape because of government inaction or just government incompetence, criminal behavior even. Let me start with the most recent one in my mind, Hawaii. Oh my God, just so sad to look at that beautiful green land, on the pictures. It looks all nice and green. And then after the fire hits it, it looks all gray and dark, and that's it. Bunch of gray and dark buildings, cars, burned to a crisp. Homes, everything. Wherever there was wherever it was green, it was black now from being scorched by the fire. So Hawaii. And before Hawaii, I'm thinking of East Palestine, Ohio. The people over there, they're still struggling. They're not getting much help. They're reliant on freaking Norfolk Southern, the same people that poisoned their town. They're relying on them. They're at their mercy, because Mike DeWine, the governor from Ohio, he ain't doing shit. Biden never even went to East Palestine, Ohio, and we don't even know if he's even planning on going to Hawaii now. Oh God. Prior to that, Jackson, Mississippi, I think, I don't know if they solved the problem now, but the mayor of that place was the mayor of Jackson. He told the governor of Mississippi about the problem they were having with their water treatment plant, I think it was, and how the water is being contaminated, and what he pretty much gave them a whole breakdown of what needed, like, this pump's gonna go out, or this plant needs this much work done, and this is how much it's gonna cost. And the governor, who's a Republican, and this guy is a Democrat, I think, the mayor, and a very lefty Democrat from what I understand. I think he's very, very to the left, socialist kind of brand. I don't know if he calls himself a socialist, but there are a lot of people that he's out there in terms of what needs to be done, far to the left. And so he told them, like, we need this water treatment plant fixed, because this is what's going to happen. I don't think they ever did anything. I don't know if the federal government's involved. If Joe Biden's administration is doing something about Jackson, Mississippi, I haven't heard it. So that's 3 so far. Hawaii, East Palestine, Ohio, Jackson, Mississippi. Another one fresh in my mind. We can't really forget this one. Flint, Michigan. Remember Rick Snyder, Republican governor? He poisoned that town too with lead. I'm not gonna recount how it happened, but he was trying to save money on how to treat he was trying to save money for the city, I guess, of Flint, Michigan. And he did it in the most incompetent way possible, most neglectful way, and he's changed the water source from one river to I guess the Flint River or something like that, which the water in that river is like more toxic, I guess, more heavy minerals in it or something, that it started corroding the pipes that led to the homes of the people in Flint, and it started eating away at the pipes. The pipes had lead in them, and so the lead was getting in the water. People were showering in them. Children were drinking water out of that, and As far as we're concerned, those pipes haven't been changed. If so, they're not done yet. And it's been what? When did this happen? 2014, maybe 2015. We're in 2023, so it's been 8 years more or less. And that one's on Obama. That's Obama's fault. Yeah, the governor was a Republican who did the crime, but Obama, we all believe he gave him cover. Rick Snyder, I don't think he was ever charged with a crime for what he did. He's still walking a free man. And Obama went and did what do you call this thing? A PR stunt in Flint, Michigan. Like he was like either pretended to drink out of a glass of water from Flint, Michigan, or he really did it. But yeah, looking back at it, man, it's gross because, and all these people that got poisoned, a lot of them are not getting the medical treatment they need, and that they are owed, really, the care that they need and that they are owed. Like, they shouldn't be a charity case, but that's where we're at in Flint, Michigan. Staying in Michigan right now, there's a paper mill apparently close to this predominantly African American town. Watch Status Quo to get the latest details on that thing, but on that story. But there's a paper mill in I think Kalamazoo, Michigan. This town in Michigan, paper mill that is contaminating the air, and I don't know what else is contaminating, probably some water too. And it's killing people, it's making people sick. Gretchen Whitmer isn't doing shit about it. If anything, apparently she granted more land and further permits of this what is the name of the paper mill company? I don't know. You're gonna have to go look up Jordan Chatterton because he's doing a good job over there at Status Quo. Him and his team, they're doing a good job at giving details about this story. But I don't know the name of the paper mill. I can remember the town. I think it's Kalamazoo, Michigan, but I could be completely wrong. Gretchen Whitmer, instead of holding these people accountable, investigating them and doing what you would assume is common sense to protect her freaking constituents, she's doing nothing of that sort. She's doing the complete opposite, giving them permits to further expand. And so, yeah, man, when you think of all that, I already got, what was that, 5 towns or at least? Or 5 different disaster stories. Hawaii, East Palestine, Ohio, Jackson, Mississippi, Flint, Michigan, and I think Kalamazoo, Michigan. And those are just the ones in my radar. And it's just so much government incompetence, or better said, I think it's government captured by the oligarchs, the corporate interests who don't care about people, really. They only care about their bottom line, which is to make money. They don't care if that costs, they don't care if the result of that is poisoning the water, the air, or the soil, as long as there's enough left for them. So, God damn it, man. It's so depressing, and people are waking up, but I don't know if people are waking up fast enough. It is so corrupt, everything. The corporate people are blocking the politicians that want to do something about it, like Marianne Williamson. There's maybe in Cornel West too. I don't think they're that afraid of RFK, because I don't know, man. RFK, he sounds pretty damn standard Republican, I would say. I don't even know why he's running as a Democrat. Like, he believes in global warming, or climate change, or that our environment is being poisoned to a very high degree. But his solution to that problem is letting the free market take care of it. Like, isn't that what we're doing right now? The so-called free market. But yeah, Marianne Williamson and Cornel West are the two only ones that are preaching the right stuff and who intend to make a change. But corporate media is not giving Marianne much coverage, and they're giving Cornel West, because he's like the spoiler candidate, more coverage, but only to smear him. They're not really giving him they're not giving him fair coverage. Marianne Williamson too, they don't mention her a lot, but to the point that they do is to smear her too. Like The View did. They never invited her over, even though they were talking trash about her a couple months back. So yes, it's pretty bleak right now, man, and I just hope enough people wake up. Nobody wants a rematch, Biden versus Trump. I certainly don't, and I think most Democrats don't, but too many of them think there is no choice, and there is a choice. Marianne Williamson is right there, man. So, oh God, I hope enough of them wake up, give Marianne Williamson a chance, look her up on YouTube, because we know CNN, MSNBC are not gonna give her the time of day. Fox News does it only, not all the time, but enough times. But they do it just for the wrong. They do it for the wrong reasons, just to get that civil war going on in the Democratic side. I hope more big YouTube channels give Marianne a chance. She was just on Bill Maher, on his podcast, not his HBO show or Max show, whatever the fuck HBO is called now. But yeah, it was on his podcast. Not the biggest channel, but it's 500,000 subscribers, more or less. But yeah, I mean, I wish she can go. I wish she can go. She can go on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan had RFK already. Why not give her a chance too? Whatever. H3, man. I hope. I don't know if Ethan Klein wants to interview politicians, but it'd be cool to see her, because H3 is a fairly big channel too, with Ethan Klein, and I mean, they talk about politics enough times. It'd be cool to see her there. She was with Hassan Piker. She just needs more exposure, man. She's laser focused on policy. Really good on domestic policy. On foreign policy, I think she could do a little better. But it's not horrible either. I don't think she has the worst ideas on Israel, Palestine, or the worst ideas on Ukraine. She did go on Jimmy Dore, but Jimmy Dore just did a smear job on her. He didn't really let her speak that much, and he was very confrontational with her, which is fine, But if you compare to how he conducted himself interviewing RFK, or when Nick Brana was on the hot seat, how he conducted himself interviewing Nick Brana, night and day. You can tell he had an axe to grind against Marianne Williamson, and I think it paid off for him, to be honest. But yeah, God damn it, I don't want Trump as president. Joe Biden, I guess he's better than Trump, but God damn it, man, I'm not excited about him. And I already said it, if there is a freaking Biden nomination with no debates, I'm not gonna vote for Joe Biden. And that is my line on the sand, really. And I make that thread because I can afford to make that thread. I made this clear, but let me repeat it again because it bears repeating. I live in in a blue state. Um, no matter which way I vote, it's probably gonna go for Biden. So that's why I feel comfortable just telling you, like, yeah, I'm not gonna vote for this dude if they coronate him, and I give Marianne and RFK a chance to make their case to the Democratic voters. Having said that, if I were in a swing state, I might still do it, not vote for him, but in the end I might hold my nose. It depends on what's at stake, man, because this is the most radical I've been on elections. Like, I normally preach no blue, vote blue no matter who. I did it for 2016, I did it for 2008, I did it for 2020. That's because to me it's to me the differences are still significant between Democrats and Republicans. Biden is being he is abysmal. He's being very abysmal on the environment front, and even foreign policy. He's pretty bad. Even Ukraine, even though I'm not completely opposed to giving aid to Ukraine. I think he is doing it for the wrong reasons, and he's going too far with the aid, and he's not adding enough strength to it. On domestic policy, though, putting the bad environment stuff aside, he is better for workers, for the working class. Well, he's way better than Obama was. He's way better than Trump ever will be, really. And better than Bush, better than Clinton. And the facts are just there, man. Like I said, this latest action he took with the Davis-Bacon rule, Bacon-Davis, whatever. That's gonna give construction workers in the south of this country a higher wage, assuming the freaking courts don't poo-poo all over it. The National Labor Relations Board, the most friendly to unions that any NLRB has been in probably 30 years or more. He did sign the executive order of raising the minimum wage for workers that do work for the government. Things like that are significant for me. And you just gotta look at the overall picture. Have people voted blue no matter who in 2016? We will still have Roe v. Wade right now. We will have 5 liberal judges in the court instead of 6 conservatives. And at least on the social issues, women's rights will be better protected, and LGBT rights will be better protected. But we didn't do it, and so yeah, that's pretty much my bottom line. Why I'm voting third party? I'm gonna vote for Cornel West. I like Cornel West anyway. If it's not gonna be hard for me to vote for Cornel West if the Democrats don't allow debates to happen. Besides that, if I were in a swing state, I'd probably think about it more than just be so definite as I'm being right now. Lots to think about, depending on where you're at. Very depressing future, really. Nobody's excited about Biden-Trump rematch. Trump is a freaking criminal, or what do they call it, indicted, whatever. But man, it's so obvious that dude is a career criminal, and more charges dropped today, I think, or was it yesterday, from Georgia, where he tried to steal more evidence, pretty much in a different way, how he try to steal the election. Wow. I'm depressing myself. I better get back to fixing my dryer. But yeah, just to drive home the message, it's not too late. Biden's being primaried. Try to help Marianne Williamson spread her word and promote her campaign, because she's being shadow banned by the mainstream media and the DNC. They clearly have their thumb on the scale. So see if we can change the freaking trajectory of this election coming up.